So what if I told you that one local race out in Aurora, Colorado, is actually a perfect snapshot of a much, much bigger battle for the very soul of the Democratic Party? It's a contest that's pitting a pragmatic incumbent against a revolutionary challenger, and it's forcing voters to pick between two totally different futures. Believe me, this is not just local politics, it's a sign of a party at war with itself. Right, because this isn't just another election cycle. You're looking at a political civil war. Inside the Colorado Democratic Party, you've essentially got two armies clashing. On one side, you have the pragmatists. They believe in slow, steady reform from within the system. And on the other side, you've got the progressives, who are arguing that the entire system needs a complete, revolutionary overhaul. And you can literally see those two paths laid out right here. You've got incumbent Michael Carter's path of reform, which is all about working within the existing structures. Then, you have challenger Breonna Parsons' path of revolution, a people-powered movement that wants to rebuild the system from the ground up. I mean, the choice for voters, it couldn't be more stark. But here's the thing. This fight, it goes way deeper than just policy debates. It's really a clash between two fundamentally different strategies for winning and holding on to power. We're talking about two completely different playbooks.
Think of it like this. The establishment playbook, it's like a fortress. It uses a top-down network of big donors and party insiders to protect its own. But the progressive playbook, that's the insurgency. It uses grassroots energy, small dollar donations, and digital organizing to try and storm the castle wall.
Now, at the very heart of the establishment's playbook is this incredibly powerful tool, dark money. And its power really comes from its secrecy. See, these groups can spend millions and millions of dollars to influence elections without ever having to reveal who their donors are. And that anonymity is absolutely central to the scandal that's about to unfold. And this is where the establishment wing made a huge, unforced error. They basically handed their rivals the perfect opening, and it all kicked off with a luxury retreat up in the snowy mountains of Vail. $25,000. Let that sink in. That's the amount a dark money group paid just to cover the hotel bill for a bunch of moderate Democratic lawmakers and the corporate lobbyists they were meeting with. This wasn't some small favor. This was a major transaction right at the heart of what became a huge ethics complaint. So why is that $25,000 figure so explosive? Well, because Colorado's constitutional gift ban limits gifts to public officials to just $75 a year. The gap between $75 and $25,000 is, well, it's massive. And that massive gap is exactly what triggered a formal investigation. Okay, so here's a quick rundown of how it all blew up. After that retreat in October, a watchdog group filed ethics complaints. The state's ethics commission then quickly called them non-frivolous, which is basically insider code for, yep, this is serious, and launched a full investigation. And here's the real kicker. It was confirmed that Colorado taxpayers are now footing the legal bill for these lawmakers' defense. And how did the establishment respond to all this? Well, not with humility, that's for sure. The caucus chair just dismissed the whole thing as a grotesque miscarriage of justice and political theater. This kind of arrogant, defensive response, it was a massive strategic mistake because it created the perfect opening for a counterattack. But see, this scandal wasn't just a crisis for the establishment. For their progressive rivals, it was a golden opportunity. This was their chance to launch a populist counteroffensive and completely rewrite the rules of the game. And this brings us to Breonna Parsons. She's a community organizer and a union member, and her political identity was really forged by her own personal experience with homelessness. She seized on the Vail scandal, using it to supercharge her people-powered movement by framing it as the ultimate proof that the system is rigged for corporate interests. Now, you might be wondering, how does an under-resourced campaign even begin to compete? Well, they use a strategy from academic research called bricolage. It's really a mindset shift. Instead of saying, how do we raise money for our plan, it asks, okay, what do we have right now, and what awesome plan can we create with it? It's really the art of being scrappy and brilliant. And that mindset, it translates into this really clear 4-step playbook. First, you redefine the enemy. This isn't left versus right, it's people versus profits. Second, you own the narrative by pivoting every single attack right back to that Vail scandal. Third, you build a coalition of, well, strange bedfellows. And finally, you turn the race into a genuine movement.
And that third step, building an unexpected coalition, this is where it gets really creative. I mean, this is not about traditional political alliances. We're talking about uniting faith leaders who see economic justice as a moral issue with anti-establishment conservatives who just hate corporate welfare, the local punk rock scene, tenant unions, and independent journalists. It's about uniting everybody against one common enemy, a system they all see as corrupt. So all of this leads to the ultimate choice facing voters in this district. And it's a choice that has implications that go far beyond their own community. It really boils down to this. Do you want to reform the system we have, or do you want a revolution to build a brand new one? And this table just lays out exactly how different their visions are. It's night and day. On funding, Carter is aligned with that dark money group from the scandal, while Parsons rejects all corporate PAC money. On housing, it's homebuyer programs versus statewide rent control. And on immigration, it's ending cooperation with ICE versus advocating for its total abolition. And that leaves us with this final massive question. In a world of unlimited dark money and entrenched power, can a strange and diverse coalition like this one, an alliance of punk rockers, pastors, and populists, all united by their shared disgust for a corrupt system, can they actually win? Can they fundamentally change the balance of power? That's the real question this election is trying to answer.